Hi everyone, welcome to Christmas in July, hosted by Helen Lewis, posting on Friday. And let me see, this is the second Friday. It's Friday the 13th when you see this, so hope you're not superstitious. Anyway, I'm going to show you everything I used in this project first, and then I'll show you what I made. Okay, I used a piece of this cardstock. This is Stampin' Up. It's in their paper pack, 12 by 12 paper pack called Year of Cheer, and it is in their clearance rack at the moment. Still available last I saw. Beautiful papers. It has this. It has a gold and white check. It has like a gold foiled holly berry. And I believe a gold, fireworks display, gold and silver. Like this is the snowflakes. There's one that looks more like fireworks. And two of each sheet, I believe. I also used this. This has a linen feel to it. This came out of a paper pack from Tuesday Morning, and I honestly don't know the brand. Not real thick, but definitely textured. This also came out of that same paper pack. It's sort of a lavender, blue, lavender. I'll call it lavender. Lilac lavender. Sort of a gray lavender. Anyway, I thought those two colors went well together. I used, as you could tell from that piece of paper, this punch. This is a Stampin' Up punch. It is called Bell Punch. And it is also still in their catalog, even though I got this over a year ago. So that's still available. And to go with that, which is also still available, is Seasonal Bells. They, actually I can show them to you, are on page 123 of the current catalog. Looks like this. And it says it coordinates with two different punches, the Bell Punch, which I just showed you, and the Banners Framelits Dies, which I don't have. In any event, these bells can be used for Christmas, because there's Happy Christmas, Season's Greetings, but there's also Best Wishes as the Wedding Bells Ring, and a Mr. and Mrs. in this set, so it could be used for a wedding bells. So I used that. I used one sentiment out of this Altenew pack, called Holiday Wishes. There it is. And the one I used is, as you ring out the old year and ring in the new, may everything wonderful bring joy to you. So I used that. I did use, out of this bells, I used all the bells. I used the Season's Greetings twice, I think, and I used this little swirly thing. So I did not use Happy Christmas. I don't know, Happy Christmas doesn't sound right to me. I'm used to Merry Christmas. Out of these gold, there's a bunch of different gold things. These are from Hot Off the Press, or otherwise known as paperwishes.com. Lots of different gold foiled Christmas things, and there's 10 sheets I believe in here. I used this window looking one and two bows. Okay. Alright, now let me see. There's other stuff yet to come. I can't get that back in. I used gold and silver Sharpie markers. I used Stampin' Up watercolor pencils. They actually have a new pack out now in addition to this colorway. But this is the original one from last year. I think it debuted last year. I used two Spectrum Noir markers, CR8 and JG6, red and green. I used this Stampin' Up blending, what are they called? blending thingy. They are called, nope, that's not it. Here they are. They are called blender pens, set of 3, for blending chalks and water-based inks, but they work good with the watercolor pencils. But you have to make sure when you do that you use ink that says waterproof. I used gold, red, and silver stickles. Okay, now inks, I did use, oops, I used, okay, I'm not sure. I used this bit of ribbon that's off of Michael's roll from last year. I used Memento Gray Flannel. I used Memento Ladybug. And I used both the gold and the silver in this color box, which I had the lid on wrong, metallic ink, cat's eye ink set. Let's see, what else? Anything else? I don't think so. Oh, I used hemp cord. This I got from the Paper Source store online, papersource.com. But I gotta tell you, I don't know if I'm really liking these ones that are wrapped with metallic threads through them, which is what this is, because they don't stay together well. Maybe that's true of all hemp, I don't know. But I didn't like it. I did use the Dollar Tree metallic pencils, even though I don't really care for them that much. I believe I just used silver and gold. And those, oh, I had these, I had a little free bracelet that had all these different colors on and had some bells. Like, I don't know if I have any more bells left. Anyway, I took it apart, and I also had these little silver balls that are charms. I believe they're painted acrylic. I used one of them because I didn't have any more. I didn't have any silver balls, but they don't jingle. I think that's enough to get started, guys. All right, so my first idea was, which was sort of successful and sort of not, was I got this idea to cut out 2 bells and glue them together just around the edges, and what am I trying to say? Oh, and then put a little bell at the bottom and make it actually jingle. So some of them do, but here's the thing. I sort of went, this one doesn't jingle. This is one of those charms at the bottom. This one has, I stamped it in metallic silver on a dark gray paper, and it's hard to see. There, you can see it. It's a snowflake design. Here's that same design in silver, but on that lilac-y paper. Oops, I got some red stickles where they don't belong. I'll show the other side. So what I ended up having to do for all of these is actually gluing. There was a jump ring attached to each of these little bells that I had, and I glued the jump ring in between the 2 sheets of paper and held it tight, and that's how they're in there now. So they're not as puffy and dimensional like this one is still. You can see, and that's how I had them. And my intent was to do what I did with this one, which I made after those, which is take a piece of wire, go up through the top, and I thought I left enough airspace up here that I'd be able to do that and poke the wire through. No, it would start tearing the paper. But this one, I had my 2 pieces separate. I taped the wire down in there after I wrapped the little bell onto it. I wire wrapped that on the bottom, ran the wire up through and made a loop up here, Well, I ran the wire up through, made sure there was enough to make a loop, and then glued down this other top bell, and then I made a loop. So I don't know if you can see, there's a bump in the bell, and that is the wire going through. But it does dangle better than the others, and it does jingle better than the others. So I have one that's sort of made right, but it doesn't, the bell doesn't have the dimension the way I wanted it to have dimension. Anyway, so sort of a okay. I don't know that I'd ever sell these, but they'd be cute on a miniature tree. And if you have any suggestions on how to do them differently, let me know. And then I was using that hemp, but the red was giving me a problem. So I did pull out, and I have no idea. Oh, I put it away already. So I pulled out red S-Lawn from the fall mix of Super Lawn S-Lawn kit by the Beadsmith, and used that on 2 of them because I could not get the red and white to work. But all the other ones are golden cream. I had some plain black that I don't know where I got. White, the white and the silver I used on several. So I had 3 with the gold, 2 with the red S-Lawn, 4 with the silver, 2 with the black, and I guess that's about it. So those are my little bells. That jingle jingle. That one doesn't jingle. That one jingles a little bit. That one jingles. That one jingles. They'd be cute on a little tree. Like a little tree in your office or something. And they're lightweight. And colorful. So if I had more bells, which I don't have more bells, that would match, I'd make more like that. And this one seems to work okay too. Anyway, there's my bells. And then I thought, not sure they're gonna meet up to anybody's standards, so I better, plus I had to wait because these had drying time in between each step, you know. Oh, I used for glue, I used art glitter glue, which I have in this little bottle, as well as turbo tacky glue from Aleene's. That works pretty well and it dries pretty fast. The turbo is pretty fast drying, but it gives you enough time to slide stuff around. I think they're the only 2 I used. Yep, okay. Oh, and I didn't show you where the markers were and everything. These 2 are just cut out, bells cut out of that paper, Stampin' Up paper, this paper. And what I did is I just took the bell and tried to get the snowflake centered on the front and back the same. Oh, I missed one thing. These are glitter paper from the DCWV, this glitter stack, Creativity Ink, but it's a DCWV glitter card stack. I actually don't care for it that much because the glitter does come off. So I'm thinking of putting clear nail polish or something on these glitter ones. So I have 2 gold ones and 1 silver one of those. Let's see. Then this one is just a paper. It's also Stampin' Up paper. It's the back of that music paper I used on my CDs, altered CDs the other day. And it is, I don't know if you can see how it shines. It has been sprayed with shimmer mist and sparkle shimmer spritz, sheer shimmer spritz, and I don't remember where I got these guys, so I'm sorry, but I don't know. I did that to another one, which is this one. This one is just stamped on that darker gray paper. One of the stamps with, now that I think is black ink, and I believe that is, here it is. It's this one, Ranger Archival ink. as is this one. And then this one I actually used the silver metallic pencil, and then I used the blender pen on it, and it turned out okay. This was a stamp also, but here I used the silver stamp, and then it has stickles around the edge. Here I used the silver stamp also. It's stamped on that dark gray paper. This was on white paper, and it's one of the stamps, and I did use the Stampin' Up! Watercolor pencils, and I did use it, but I didn't use watercolor paper. Highly recommend it, or thicker paper anyway, for the next time. And this one I used the Spectrum Noir markers that I showed, and then I used the gold metallic pencil, not Stampin' Up, and then I used the Stampin' Up! Blender pen, which actually sort of worked with that. Kind of gave it, I kind of like this one actually. And then I went around the outside with gold stickles on that. So that's how I did each of those. And then as they were drying tonight, I'm filming this in advance, by the way. I made a card. I wanted to make a card with the bells too. And so I had a little bit of the leftover gray and leftover lilac-y paper. So here's the first card. And this is the swirly stamp that was in the Stampin' Up! Kit. Here's the season's greetings. The bells are again punched out of the paper, but they're both silver this time. This little bow is a waffle flower bow. It's my favorite little bow. It's just called Tiny Twine Bow, but I layered it up 3 times, and it's punched out of the lilac-y paper. And then this is the Michaels ribbon that I showed earlier. And on the inside, I took a scallop punch and punched out one of the silver snowflakes, and that's where I have the all too new sentiment that says, as you ring out the old year and ring in the new, may everything wonderful bring joy to you. At first I didn't want to put season's greetings on here, but I couldn't find a sentiment that I liked, and I didn't really want Merry Christmas when I'm talking about ringing in the new year inside. So I used the season's greetings. And then I had a nice piece of the snowflake paper left that was cardish sized. It's actually a tiny bit smaller than the other card, which is more standard. This whole piece just peeled off. It's a sticker, but it's a clear-ish sticker, and it kind of looks neat. You've got the church in the background, but the snowflakes shine through also. I thought that was pretty cool. And inside I have the 2 bows and another scallop circle punch of the snowflake paper. And then I stamped that in gold, which sort of didn't stamp real good in the season's greetings. And that's it, guys. That's just plain snowflakes on the back. This one's plain on the back too. And I didn't make envelopes for them yet. So I hope you enjoyed my projects for Christmas in July with Helen Lewis. Please do go check out everyone else's videos that'll be posted throughout the day, Friday the 13th. And I hope you have a safe Friday and a safe weekend. Until the next time, hugs, love, and peace. Talk to you soon.